The FujiCast is an independent loading zone production.
Monday, 27th of April.
The FujiCast.
What you don't know is just a moment ago, as we were launching into this, I started the show. Said Monday, 27th of August. I thought, it does feel like that. I don't even know what month it is anymore, Kev.
It's Good Friday, isn't it? Or is it? Isn't it Christmas Eve or something?
Is it Boxing Day? God. Oh, it is definitely definitely a Monday. A Sunday, a Monday. Definitely a Monday. Oh, God, I give up today. Happy Monday to you, Kev.
Yeah, happy Monday, Neil. How was your weekend?
Oh, dear. It was good. The sunshine is over, isn't it, for this week? We've got the clouds coming in and the rain coming in. And
16 days of rain ahead of us.
No, is it?
Yeah.
I thought this coming weekend. Oh, you live by Metcheck, don't you? It's quite good usually, isn't it? I thought this coming weekend was pretty good.
Oh, Metcheck, rain.
Lovely.
Rain.
All right, welcome to a brand new week. Today on the show, we've got the Daily Photo Challenge. Last week of the Daily Photo Challenge, set by Kev. We'll look back at last Monday's as well. As it's a Monday, we've got the answers to the Friday's Bar Nuts quiz. And I'm going to set a new challenge. I've thought of a challenge, Kev. We should have discussed this in a programme meeting beforehand. But
I'll get my coat then.
You may or may not like it, but it's just a little idea, a little thought I had. As I was out on my daily walk yesterday, but we can talk about that in a while. Right, should we start with a question?
Yes, let's go.
By the way, welcome to the FujiCast, daily instead of weekly, just in case you were thinking, what the hell am I listening to here? Ray Schuyler starts off with this week. Love the show, boys, yada, yada, yada. He's got a couple of questions, actually. This has become the seems to be the new norm, is let's get in there with 2 or 3 questions in the same mail. What is keeping you sane at this time? I'm not sure we are we?
Don't know. What? I don't know. You go first. You answer first. I feel like I answer first too many times.
For me, I think just actually being able to come into this room, which is the studio, which is reasonably soundproofed, has a doormat that says The Sanctuary, and that's what it effectively feels like. This has been my sanity, I think, Kev.
Yeah,
it really has. I've spent far too long in here, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've given up thinking of work-life balance. I just work when I feel like it, which seems to be quite a lot.
Yeah, I don't know really. I've been keeping myself busy, doing stuff. I just did some stuff this morning. I tend try not to do too much work on the weekends, even though it's hard not to because there's not really a lot more to do, Yeah. And of course the computer's in the living room and stuff. So yeah, I've just been kind of plodding on.
Yeah, I've found a lot of clients now ordering. Ray's a wedding photographer. I've found a lot of clients now ordering their wedding books at just the time I'm in lockdown cash flow problems. Any thoughts on how to hold people off until the good times roll? Do you know, oddly, we were talking about this just the other day, weren't we?
We were. Yeah, I've got one come back from like 4 years ago, and they want all of these changes and everything, and I'm like, whoa. Well, I mean, if my take on this is fairly mercenary, I think, in that if it's within the time frame of reality of realistic weddings, if their wedding was like, I don't know, 6 months ago or something, then you're just gonna have to get on with it. There's no precedent. They need their album, and the album companies need your money, and so that's the way it is. If you're a good business person, then the money that you get for the albums up front should be in a separate bank account. Really,
is that how you do yours?
Yeah, so I have mine in a I call it a product account. So all of the income that comes from album sales, or a percentage of the package price, that is, if they've got an album on their package, it goes in there, and that's what I buy the albums out of. So there's still a little bit left in there. So typically you shouldn't really be up the Swanee when that happens. No. However, there is the occasion, like I said, the 4-year-old wedding client that comes back. Wants some changes, wants a couple of images in different order and various things like that. And I just say to them, "Yep, it's it's going to take me 3 hours, and it's going to be £150 an hour."
Yeah. Have you not found yourself borrowing from the product account in these unusual times we live in, where you're thinking, right, I need to get a bit from there, just keep business, afloat?
No, I haven't, but I'll tell you why. And that's probably because I've been quite lucky in that all of the albums the vast majority of the albums I've had to deal with over the last kind of 18 months have done their albums pretty quick. So I haven't got a whole load of money in there that's just dead money sitting there waiting for them to come along.
Right.
So there's not a great deal in there for them to, for me to borrow from. However, my tax account, which is a separate one, that's been lent on very heavily recently. So the money that I put aside, I typically put aside 20% of all profit, all turnover. 20% goes into the tax account. And that's obviously there to pay the tax. So yeah, that's now been depleted somewhat.
Photo films for me used to be where the money used to go out because, well, we mentioned it the other day. We used to license music from the same online music library, and they were quite expensive per time, weren't they?
Oh yeah.
Now with Artlist.io. I found that that's a totally different thing because, of course, you pay for it. I think I'm about 6 or 7 months into my yearly subscription, so I'm not paying per month at the moment. I paid it up front, and that allows me to download as much as I want. That used to be, for me, that was like albums.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if you're still paying individual rates for background music to photo films, then you really want to look at something like Artlist. Yeah. It's definitely the way forward. And so far, they're the only ones that essentially allow you to do whatever you want with the music, amazing, even after your license expires.
And last question from Ray. Will you be wearing face masks at weddings when you return? Now, I thought about this only the other day, and I thought, I've always felt in the summer, with my beautifully polished head, that I should actually be wearing a hat, but hats don't really suit me. And Sam has said to me I said, what if I wear one of those like Peaky Blinder hats? He said, you look an idiot. Come on. But of course, that's much better than having any form of terrible disease. Because you've got sunburn on your bonds, but but this is now. Do you expect to see wedding guests wearing them?
Oh, I'm sure they will. First of all, we've got to have some weddings. Let's get over hurdle number one.
Yeah.
And if the government say that you should wear masks, then yeah, but obviously they have to provide the masks because there isn't any masks. And hence, that's personally why I think they're not making the suggestion. I personally think they don't say it's best to wear a mask because clearly it is.
But in parts of America, parts of America they've made you wear masks, but you have to make. Oh, was that Breezy? You have to make your own.
Oh, hold on a sec. Sorry, Breezy. Come here.
One dispatched Breezy.
Breezy was having a noisy dream, as we like to call it, dreaming of bones. So you don't. So in some countries, I think it's New York in this. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not allowed to go out on the street unless you're wearing your mask. But there aren't enough masks, so people are making their own. What are they making them out of?
Well,
handkerchiefs. Pointless. Unless it's a surgical mask. Yeah. Surely that's the case. In which case, you can't just have arbitrary demands on people to wear a mask and then there isn't any. So I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. I just want some weddings.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll go dressed as a gorilla if it helps me get some weddings.
In your gorilla suit?
I'll go in my gorilla suit.
I'm perfectly protected. I am no danger to anybody. I am within a suit.
I will be the baboon with the camera.
Yeah. 2 wedding questions to start with. Marcus Cohen, slowly, I've been setting up my wedding photography business and getting everything together. Do you remember Marcus was the guy that sent the email about his wife being concerned about him shooting bridal preps because she said she doesn't want him in a room with naked ladies? Do you remember that one?
Yes,
that was Marcus. Anyway, so I'm slowly getting. I've taken some shots of friends' weddings initially, gave me some pictures from the website. Now I've actually secured a paying client for. Now this email came in a couple of months ago for June, which he says is great news. We'll put a caveat on that I'm not quite sure that we will be shooting any weddings in June. I have to say, some of the advice you handed out certainly helped me staying motivated and on the track. Beers are owed. Just go get the wedding markers. Don't worry about the beers at the moment. So I'm spending some time working on techniques. I have an X Pro 3 and an XT3. I just wanted to ask you both what focusing and shooting techniques you use when you're working with these cameras. So I know you're going to say straight away, We should have a jingle for it. Back button focusing.
Back button focusing with Kevin.
Yeah. Can we have a jingle made up for that? That would be... we should have one. What about face detection? I like to keep things really simple and concentrate on the actual event rather than fiddling with a camera. So any tips greatly appreciated. Marcus Cohen in Leeds. So back button focusing for you, obviously.
Yeah, I never do face detection. Yeah, focus technique is always back button and maybe continuous if like bridal recessional or something like that. No face detection. Yeah.
Single shot for me. Single shot, and I tend. Do you know? I can't remember the last time I used face recognition for focusing in continuous mode. I tend to only use that mode when I'm filming. I've never touched it photographically, really. But you do for the recessional and for the processional as well?
No, because they're walking slowly there, aren't they? And it's, generally they're just like, it's mostly for the confetti, I should say, really.
Yeah.
Continuous focus. But the thing about the face detection, by the way, is it's interesting because I know a lot of the Sony users swear by it, and I believe that the Sony system is better than the Fuji system at face detection. But I when you're shooting, I can understand it fully for portraits, for example. If you're doing portraits and you need to get pin focus on the eyes or whatever, I can't. I just for kind of our style, a documentary approach. Unless you're one of these people that just basically rides the shutter all day long and takes 20,000 pictures, I don't really see the benefit of it. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, but I to me it seems like it's right, constantly track, shoot.
Yeah.
And I just, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong way to do it. I just don't shoot that way, and so I just, it just doesn't. It's not something I need to kind of do.
It's not something you think about.
The Daily Show Photo Challenge.
Last week of the photo challenge this week. Kev, you were beginning to pull your hair out, weren't you, over this one? And we don't want you looking like me as well. You got a good head of hair still. Retain it, please.
No, I'm not sure.
For the sake of us both. Right, last Monday then. What was last Monday?
The challenge was, how are you entertaining yourself?
Oh yes. Ooh.
We had approximately 135 entries.
And were people entertaining themselves well? No, not like that. Put your head back in. Out of the gutter, please.
There was a lot of good ones. Obviously, a lot of pictures of Nathan Wake put a picture of Game of Monopoly in progress. There was a lot of pictures of cameras and some Fitbit shots and roller skates, and record players came up. Pascal Diamond, nice little black and white picture of his record player. Do you still call them record players, or do people like you call them turntables?
Did you? In the BBC, we call them grams, as in gramophones. So on the fader it would have gram 1 and gram 2.
Well, there was a picture from some bloke that I know who turned a whole pile of rubbish wood into an actual train and stuck his child in it.
What sort of idiot would do something like that?
There's a lot of pictures. There was a lot of models going on. Lego and all that kind of stuff. I love David Swale's one. He did Lego robots, using his USB boxes as well. So the Lego robots were holding his USB boxes. However, the one that I think stood out for me the most, that I found very, very funny, because of course it was about how are you entertaining yourself, right? It was. I need to find it. There is Morten Jensen. I don't know.
I think we've decided he's Jensen.
His toilet. He took a picture of his toilet.
I saw this one.
And he'd use the toilet rolls to make it look like eyes, and then presumably the kind of bath mat or whatever hanging out to the toilet to look like a big red tongue.
It was brilliant.
It was very entertaining, and that entertained me. So there you go, Morten.
I meant to ask Morten if if I could possibly use that for my Instagram bathroom travels account. Toilets of the world. That would be brilliant. It would be perfect in there. Morten, would you mind me using it?
I also like Jonathan's one of his bottle of red wine and 2 glasses, because that just made me go, lovely.
You're ready. Right, what's a new one for today then? What have we got? Monday's photo challenge from Kev. Last ones of the week.
Today's photo challenge is, what did we say we were going to do last week? Numbers. Okay, yes. So the number is 1.
Right.
And the pictures have to, and ideally, I keep saying this, ideally do it on the day that you listen to the podcast, or, on the day surrounding the podcast. Yeah. So we're looking for images that when you look at it, and it's not necessarily just the number 1 of your door number or something, kind of emphasizes singularity, 1.
Oh.
No, just one, and it could be you could be creative and line up a whole load of books into the word number one, or it could be a single object in focus and everything else out of focus, very kind of abstract. Could be anything.
I could show you my bank statement and have the last pound that we're down to now. One.
Well, have you got any minus signs in front of yours yet? Jealous.
What's a plus sign?
There we go, number one.
Oh dear, very good one. Good one. Good luck. Good luck.
And you might be able to think roughly ahead this week.
Okay. Right. Music round. So the last of the music ones as well from last week. This was I'm describing the song, and I needed from you just the artist. So here we go, Kev. Usually you're A1 at these. This song was recorded for a John Peel session in 1982 by a new wave band from Liverpool. First Picture of You, massive Euro hit in the UK, France, Germany and Holland. Who was the artist?
I can't even remember the music now. I can't.
Lotus Eaters was the... do you remember the Lotus Eaters?
No.
No, okay.
No, I never even heard of them.
Okay. Paparazzi was all about a camera being a tool that drives the trajectory of fame. This particular artist, one of the biggest artists of the last decade in terms of sales, and she's known for her philanthropy and social activism. You said Dolly Parton. Are you staying with that?
I think I was tossing up between Dolly Parton and Bjork.
Bjork, you were, yes. Which one are you going for?
Dolly Parton.
Not that it matters. It was Lady Gaga.
Oh, I love Lady Gaga as well.
Kodachrome.
Of course, I never know that song. Yeah.
Kodachrome is named after Kodak's 35mm film format, referring to the characteristics of the film and its effect on visual culture. This American soloist, famous for loving Graceland, sings, "They give us those nice bright colours, they give us the greens of summers."
Yes. And I only got this because you mentioned Graceland.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I got it right, but in the end, I went for Paul Simon.
And you were absolutely right, yes.
Yes.
The song
was on the soles of his shoes.
The song Photograph from 2015, big hit for this British artist, but a whole bag of trouble too. He was threatened with legal action by two songwriters who said the tune sounded too similar to Matt Cardle's 2011 single, Amazing. A reasonably sized, undisclosed settlement, oxymoron, followed, and the artist went back to being one of the wedding industry's most featured first dance song singers. I think it was that gave you the answer. Ed Sheeran. Yeah. Picture this, top song, launched this British artist's career in the States, tune about the desire to preserve a memory. So we're looking at a 70s song here.
I think I went with Status Quo.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mash between Kylie Minogue and Status Quo. Which one? It's a female artiste, so it's not Status Quo.
I bet it's somebody. Well, I'm going to stay with Kylie, but I bet it's somebody like thinking. Oh, you said the 70s, didn't you?
Yeah.
You didn't say the 70s on Friday.
No, well, I did just now. Sorry,
I've changed my mind now.
Well,
it's not Kylie Minogue.
Who have you gone for then?
I'm going to go for British person, 70s.
Yeah.
Female.
70s, 80s, massive star. Everybody loved her. Pin-ups.
I have no idea. I'm going to go for Blondie.
And you're right. There we go.
No way.
you rescued yourself right at the end. 3 out of 5, I think, is a good score. Yeah.
That's great. I'm rubbish at modern music as well.
All these modern pop songs, you can't hear the words.
Yeah, but they were all guesses that I got from the clues you put in the words. It wasn't the title of the song in any case that actually did it for me. It was the fact that you adorned them with little clues.
The clues as Keith Lemon calls them.
Yeah. I'd be a good criminal investigator.
Yeah. Right, you ready for one last question? This is Ignacy, pronounced Ignacy, from the San Francisco Bay Area. Hi,
what
Kevin.
A beautiful name.
Yeah, it is lovely, isn't it? Ignacy. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Neil. Listen, we're great interested in a recent interview on the subject of monitor calibration. I thought that one we talked openly about this when we were recording it. We'd say it would either send people to sleep or it would be something that was really well received. And I'm delighted that Jeremy Dooley did that one with us, and it was really, really well received. I've done another one, actually, which we're just going to put on the YouTube channel at some stage because it was a really long, hour-long one evening. Anyway, these days I often edit on an iPhone, which cannot be calibrated and can have unwanted colour shifts when True Tone and Night Shift are enabled, sometimes inadvertently. But even when editing on a computer, boys, with a calibrated monitor, the end result, by others, is often viewed via Instagram on a phone or on a popular computer like a MacBook or an iMac or a PC. Seeing how most people can't or don't calibrate their viewing devices, I imagine that your clients may see a difference between what you've edited on your perfect ones and their device, by perfect obviously calibrated. At what point do you use a popular device like a phone as a reference before sending off your photos? Really good question, Ignacy. From San Francisco, in the Bay Area, no less. Do you know Alan Gump? He lives in that area.
Well, I have to say that I have thought about this on a couple of occasions. And then I just push it straight out of my mind, because ultimately you can only do what you can do and make the pictures as good as possible. Yeah. If you look at it on a iPhone version 1 from 1995 and it doesn't look very good, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do? It's a little bit like, you know, if you sell oranges and you sell a fresh orange to somebody, and then you go around their house 3 days later and they've left it in the window and it's all got a bit manky and everything, and then, you know, that's their fault, isn't it? For putting it in the window and it's gone manky. That's my analogy.
Interesting analogy. But it's a really good point, because I've got a calibrated screen now, and I colour check the stuff before it goes out. And then I look at it on my normal iMac screen, which is to the left, and it looks different. And sometimes I will check it on the phone to see that the gallery is working for the phone. That looks, well, not incredibly different, but it's subtly different again. I don't know, Kev, I've lost the will to live on all that calibration stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the point I'm making. You just can't possibly do it. All you can do is do it in your, you know, to the best of your ability at source, and away it goes. And nobody knows. I mean, you know, I usually when I send my clients the email with their images, I usually say to them, you know, if you can, please sit down and look at these images on a proper screen, rather than, certainly in the first instance. I never want my clients' first impressions of their wedding pictures to be on a blinking iPhone or a Huawei, to keep other mobile devices do exist. You know, so I try and encourage them to use it. But the fact is, most people, probably the largest screen they've got is a 12-inch tablet. Yeah. And that is what they're going to look at it on. So, yeah, I mean, modern tablets these days are pretty good calibration, pretty good with color control. So, yeah, I mean, don't worry about it. That's my advice to myself.
Well, thanks very much for your question, Ignacy. And that's it for today. Back tomorrow for the second Tech Free Tuesday, where it's a free-for-all question-wise. Ask what you like in terms of art or business or emotions, or even personal, Kev. And tomorrow, it being episode 98, we're just a few shows away from episode 100. Kev, have a good day. See you for TFT tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
The FujiCast is an independent loading zone production.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.